Welcome to the Viking Horn, official podcast of the Nottingham Vikings Ball Hockey Club. You can find out more about our club on our website and on all social media. For YouTube channel viewers, you'll see the links on screen. Anyway, let's sound the Viking Horn.
Hello and welcome to what we are calling, I think, a brand new series of the original Ball Hockey podcast, the Viking Horn. We are outside. I've got me, Benny and Dan. Just so you know, we are social distanced, obviously. Benny and Dan from the same household. I'm a little bit closer to the camera, as you can probably make out.
You are now.
I am now, yeah. Just a few inches, just to make sure.
I think you were bigger than usual, Pete.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not. Mike's just put on some weight, but you never know. We've got Mike and Joel as well joining us from their lovely homes. So yeah, welcome back. So starting off, last time we were together doing a podcast, and especially when Benny was with us, I think Benny was going through some sort of fitness regime with Dan. So I think it's only right that we get a bit of an update on how that's going, Benny. Any news?
Yeah. It's going well. We've decided we're going to do Fat Dad versus Thin Dad. Fit Dad, wasn't it?
Fit Dad.
Fat
Okay.
Dad versus Fit Dad.
Oh.
We're just going to see which the step first, do they prefer food or muscle?
I think like fat dads are in at the moment.
Exactly.
That is the look you're going
I
for.
am on trend.
You know what? We all turned up for training the other night, and there was Benny with the white van, and he was casually leaning against the van, eating donuts. And then he told us he was on his third one, or he had three.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also said, don't tell Dan. But
There you go.
I made sure I did. I made sure
No,
I
telling
did.
them we're telling podcast.
And
and there's Joel currently eating a chocolate bar as we discussed
is
it.
that a penguin? Is that a penguin?
And
How's your fitness regime going, Joel? I don't know if it started one.
it's good. I managed to put on a couple of pounds last week, and I put a few more on this week, so it's going well.
He said at the start of lockdown he was going to lose 2 stone, so he's only got 3 to go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Well, it's great to be back. Great to have you with us, guys. So let's get to it. We're going to start off with obviously Vikings chat. We are back to training now since the last break that we were given. Let's say. It's safe to say that I'm going to start with you, Mike, as a GM. The numbers that we've seen at training and the reaction to the training being back on has been second to none. It's been great. Just a quick word from you on that. Like, it must be good for you as the GM to see the club growing.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. The turnout most weeks has been about 18 of us. Hopefully when we move back indoors, there'll be even more coming along. Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps with like rent of the Astro court we're playing on at the moment, but you know, more from Benny's perspective and the team's perspective, it's just a great get everyone back in, playing together, training together, and that's going to make the biggest difference. I think it's just having all of the regulars back in, and you know, it's a social thing as well, isn't it? So I'm absolutely really pleased and impressed with everyone turning out most weeks, to be honest. And it is a Friday night, which ain't ideal, but it's been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I'm well chuffed.
And Benny, as head coach, from your perspective, it must make your sessions a pleasure to plan and have that many people there working on, wanting to play for the club. It must be good for you as well to see that.
Yeah,
Donuts.
It is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more time to eat donuts. No, it is good to have more people down. It gives us more options of things we can do at training. If we look back at what we were like as a club 2 years ago, where we'd only have 6 people at training, it was quite tough to plan those sessions and develop the team to where we wanted to go. But now we're seeing regulars around 16 to 18 people attend. It means we can start working on systems, start really working on tactics as well as to where we want to go going forward.
Yeah, spot on. So, obviously, with what's been going on with COVID and what have you, there's not an actual official start date of when we're going to go back to play yet. I know for a fact that BHUK, everyone involved with that, including yourself, Mike, now, are working very hard behind the scenes to get that going again. So we look forward to playing. But I think it's worth chatting about. You know, I was thinking the other day. I think I've chatted to you guys as well. Instead of going straight back into league games, I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to sort of, you know, let's get us back into some small tournaments, or even start off with one of the tournaments. Because I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like everyone's just going to want to get back playing. I think if everyone can get together and play some sort of tournament, you're playing as much hockey as possible, let's say even over a day or 2 days. But what do we think of that? Do you think that's an idea that the league could be considering?
I'm certain that's something that's being considered. I mean, I really honestly don't know about any tournaments being scheduled in yet, or any timings. You're right, everyone's chomping at the bit to get back in and playing. There is a veterans tournament that's going to be in a couple of weeks that's being advertised online. So I'm playing in that, and I think Daryl and Kev might be. You youngsters aren't. But yeah,
bit too young for that, yeah.
My personal view is,
I thought mine were a bit too old for that, to be honest.
The geriatrics tournament. My personal view is, I think it'd be a real nice sort of bang to the start of a season to get a tournament of some sort, whether it be Fantastic Fours or whatever, and just get everyone back in, and just, you know, that would just be a really nice thing to do. But I'm sure Rob and the team are working on something and got something going on behind the scenes. So, and I suppose the other thing is, we're not completely out of this COVID restrictions yet. And I guess once we're really confident that, you know, we can get back into proper play, then we can start, you know, planning things more. Definitely with two eyes. Anyone that's watched Line of Duty.
Yeah, I've not, but I've listened to I was thinking, I thought I was going to pop it down there for a minute.
You're telling me that 3 other people that have not watched Line of Duty.
Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't quite hear.
Just review Dan quickly as well. I know obviously you're not a ball hockey player as such at the moment. Not yet. But you are a judo fighter, and the same sort of thing appeals to you. You've not been able to play, fight. It's just training at the centre. For you as well, you must be eager to get back into some sort of competition.
Yeah, for me personally, it's been 15 months since my last fight now, fighting over in Georgia. And it's been probably the biggest training block in my life. Sometimes, you know, you've been just training for nothing. You know, the games get pushed back and competitions getting pushed back, and then, you know, now dealing with a bit of an injury. Hopefully the pending games is going to go ahead in less than 11, 12 weeks it is now. So, you know, fingers crossed, sport, the life of sport is going to become a bit more normalised in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we all can't wait to get back into sport, a competitive sport, let's say, in some way or another pretty soon. So, so moving on, I'm going to come to you now, Benny. There's been, you decided as a coaching staff and whatever, that you're going to start grading players. This is before like a ball's been sort of dropped in anger again. Can you just give us some sort of insight on why you're doing that and what that's training you? Are you doing it from what you've seen on training or what you know about players already?
So I think the greater understanding is, first of all, we've got around 25, 26 people interested in playing for Vikings at the minute. And as we know, we can only really have a roster of 22. So it's about trying to build a team of the right players, not necessarily the best players. So I'm currently grading players on the standard things that you see for hockey players at the minute, stick handling and things like that, one of them. And then a few key attributes that I'm going to keep close to my chest, because it's what I'd say was in-house secrets from my coaching team.
Like the better looking players, what you personally.
Your
favourite.
It's about it's not about having the right players in terms of ball handling as well, but are they the sort of people that could be the face of Vikings and attract future people and really good looking athletes?
I'll see you next year then, Joel.
It's a shame to lose you, Mike.
Yeah.
We wish you well in your future endeavours.
The roster went for you this year, Mike, and that's why I give you the GM role. There you go.
So Joel, hearing that, mate.
Why don't we go through some of the attributes to see if Joel can hit what he thinks he is?
What are we judging the players on? What are we judging the players on, Benny?
So I'm not going to say what everything I'm judging.
That's
on,
fine. Yeah.
I might as well
It's going to be top
start
three.
coaching every team in the league. So there's things like what's the fitness levels like.
Okay, out of 10, Joel, fitness level.
0.
Okay.
Oh.
Mike, what's your fitness level?
Getting there.
Pete, what's your fitness level?
At the minute, I'd give myself an 8.
Okay, out of 100, yeah.
80. If we're going out of 100, I'll go 85. How can I say I couldn't be
Is it out of 100?
When I'm working with this guy,
Is it out of 100? Yeah, still 0. Still 0.
Yeah.
Disgusting if
You see
below
what
an
made me
eight.
do the other day? I got through it. I'm pretty proud of myself. So yeah, I'll rate myself quite high. But there's more to come, I'll tell you.
Another one is stick handling.
Oh, where would you put yourself then, Joel, for stick handling?
Stick handling. Oh. Out of 10, 3, 4.
That's about right.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait for coach to tell me.
Oh, come on. Sit on the fence here.
No, I'm getting bored with this now. Come on, carry on. Yeah, it's got better. I think for me, there's a difference between stick handling in sessions and actually stick handling during the game. It's way different. You haven't got time to think, or even like sometimes doing a flashy toe drag or something like that ain't the right thing to be doing if you're going to put your team in jeopardy or something. So I'm not going to tell you.
I think that's going to be like one massive thing as well for not just this team, but for every team in the league that has attracted, say, new players or developed, other players in different fields. But you don't know how that's going to sort of transport onto an actual game day. So, as say, for me personally, as a judo fighter, on training, I'm not the fighter I am in a tournament. And there's some lads who I come up against who, would absolutely eat me alive in training. But, an absolutely terrible tournament day. And I think that's going to be really interesting in the next few weeks to see, especially the new lads who come down and look quite decent on a training night.
Yeah.
See how that sort of transpires over to
it. I do agree with what you're saying about the stick handling, because I'd probably rate myself quite low with stick handling. But then again, when I'm running at speed, the ball stuck to my stick, and I don't really know what I'm doing with it. It's just there, and I'm running and I'm going. And yeah, I mean, let's not give away too many secrets. But you are right. I agree with what you're saying about it's different in a game than what I'd do in training. That's an interesting one.
Okay, so what about the last one then? So one of the other ones is size. So how effectively do you use the size of what you are at the minute? So it doesn't matter what size you are you effective with your body size?
Who are we going to first?
We'll go Joel again.
Again, I'm massive, so
you want to be quite high for this, ideally, then, don't you?
But then, the second training session in, Daryl absolutely went through me. So,
Mike, do you effectively use the size that you have been gifted with?
Yeah, I've been playing Saturday mornings with the veterans lot that Wolves have organised, and I've been learning a lot from that. Protecting the ball. Yeah, I've got a lot better at that. I'm not going to give you a grade, but I do think I'm better than that now. You're playing your cards close to your chest, so I'm going to play my. No, I don't think I can really grade myself. I'm not really placed to. I think I've improved though.
I can't really tell him too much because he's technically my boss now, so I can't make him do anything.
Yeah, the
the
caveat to that, Benny, I gave you free reign. I said that as GM, I'm not going to have any influence at all on coaching, and you're within your rights to tell me.
Maybe at some point, Mike, you need to give him a rating for how well he's doing.
I am. I have been. I've been watching.
All right, there you go.
That's why we're looking for another coach.
minus one for each donut consumed.
What about yourself, Pete?
Size. I would say in the past, I haven't used it enough because I'm not one of the bigger players on the team. But I think, again, credit to Dan here.
You're twice the human.
I'm twice the human I was probably last time I played a game of ball hockey. So, and there's been times where I have used it. Then there's times where I've not used it enough, and I've come out second best when I shouldn't have really done. But now I want to use what I've built myself as physically in the time I've been away from the ball hockey court to improve that next year. So I would grade myself low currently, but then with the potential to move up. Yeah, you know when you get the green arrow on Football Manager when you've improved at a thing after a few games in training. That's what I'm looking at.
You're getting promoted.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. So we'll move on. So slightly with the amount of players that you've got at your disposal now, Benny, and the amount of players that have come down to training that expressed interest in playing for the team, playing in the squad. Obviously, you're not going to be able to choose everyone. So how are you planning, again, you might not want to give too much away, in keeping the squad happy, going through when the season starts? Because inevitably, if the same people aren't playing games, they might not be as enthusiastic about coming down or whatever. How do you keep that enthusiasm for playing for the Vikings going? As a unit as well, not just Benny. Mike, your GM,
Yeah, I'll answer that after Benny. I've got an answer, but I'll let Benny go first.
Okay.
So it's about everyone that plays this sport is playing because they love competition. So you are going to look at your peers, and the person to your left or right may be better than you or worse off than you. But the person who's worse than you is coming for your space. The person who's better than you, you're going for his space. So there's that in-house competition there. It's quite a healthy competition to have. It pushes everyone further forwards. We have got a lot of players interested in playing, but we've not got enough for two teams. That doesn't necessarily mean that's off the cards in the future, potentially. But what it does mean is that when we select a team on a game day based on the opposition going forward, those that aren't selected, their role is essentially to be as tough of an opponent as possible during training. So essentially have a training team versus game day team. All I'm going to say to the lads is you've got to earn your spot and you've got to earn to keep it once you've got it.
Fair enough. Mike, you want to say something, mate?
Yeah, I think for me, I'll be honest. There's a lot of guys already in the team that are a lot better than me, either fitter than me or got a lot more game day experience than me or positionally are better than me. And that's fine. I mean, I've been working bloody hard to improve all aspects of that. And yeah, it's made me pretty determined to, make a mark and try and put my case forward for getting a more permanent position in the squad. But, I accept that there are still guys above and beyond me at the moment, but that's not letting me, it's not putting me off. The other thing I'd say is our intention as a club, I think we've already said, is we want to have a lot more competition presence. So whether it's F4s, whether it's nationals, and that could open up scope to having a lot more players available to play competitive games. I think it's 5-on-5 as well at national level, isn't it, Benny?
It is, yeah.
So, but I think the final thing I'd say is we all know that on game day there are going to be things coming up, like whether it's holidays, whether it's if ice hockey starts up again, you're not going to always have all of the guys always available all of the time. So I think having that depth is also going to open up opportunities for guys in the team as well.
I think what's so important to mention as well is I think it's a good thing, Benny as a coach and the coaching staff are grading players individually, but I don't think that necessarily means those players are going to be picked for a team based on their individual skills, because you can forget, it's easy to forget that it's a team sport. So for example, if one guy in defence has got a certain aspect of his game which is strong but someone else isn't, you could then potentially pick someone in defence with them on a line where they're better at another attribute that the other guy's not, or girl's not. So then that balances itself out on a line. So I don't think, you mentioned Mike. Oh, there's players on the team better than you. Well, there might be certain players on the team better at certain things than you, but then I think there's going to be things like that you're better at than other players on the team. So Benny's got your job. Benny is going to be looking at those. It's not necessarily for individuality, but it's like how that's going to work on a line or as a team, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about looking at what skills everyone's got, what their flaws are, and who can complement each other. So who can fix your flaws and essentially pick up your flaws on the court, and in turn you pick up theirs. And that together as a unit makes you pretty tough to break down.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. Joel, are you seeing a spot for yourself on the line on any line at the moment? Are you hearing what we're saying so far? What's your strongest part of your game? Let's say.
I don't think so at the minute, but I mean, like a lot of us during this lockdown, it's been a bit tough for everybody. And myself, I'm just getting back into the routine of actually doing some exercise, to be frankly honest. But in all seriousness, I feel like I've only been to 3 sessions so far, and I feel like compared the third one to the first one, I'm already feeling like small, tiny improvements in myself. So I think if I can do things for my own personal sort of development, I don't see why I wouldn't be considered for the side if I carried on improving and getting better, fitter, thinner. That I don't see why I won't be able to make a claim for a spot.
I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock on Wednesday for Generate then.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
Got a few penguin bars to get through first.
But yeah, it's a personal journey as well as a team journey. I think for me, just getting back into that sort of frame of mind. Yeah.
Spot on. Yeah, I think it's the best way to look at it. No one's spot is safe. Even myself as captain, everyone's got to work hard, and we'll get there. I think we've got the perfect. I'm not kissing your backside, but we've got the perfect guy. He's got the right frame of mind. But how he's going to pick his team, and it will do what's right for the squad and the club. So yeah, let's just get back to playing as soon as we can, and we'll see it all put into fruition. Just another quick question. This is for everyone. I'm going to put out there. Obviously, don't want to mention it again, but we've not played for a long time. In that time, we've seen as a club we've done a lot of things to keep going, and so people not just know about the Vikings but ball hockey in general. Just going to go around the table, starting with the GM, Mike. What are you most encouraged about from lockdown started back last year to this point today in this club and how it's gone forward? What you've been most impressed about?
For me, it's the growth of the club. I know it's giving Benny a bit of a headache now with the numbers, but I'd rather it be like that. I think that's been a lot that's been through social media presence and a real drive from the committee to just a lot bigger presence of the Vikings Ball Hockey Club as a serious ball hockey club now.
Joel?
Me?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
I'll just turn my hearing aid up. Yeah, so I think backing up really what Mike said, I have a big influence in what we put on our social media and including the identity of the club and things like that. And I think that is attracting, as we can see at training, it's attracting, some new players, who've never even picked up a stick before and things like that. So I think it's a good, backing really what Mike said, the growth of the club, it's really, really positive, and it's making me want to develop myself and become part of this ever-growing team.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to add to that as well, and it's also pushing the ball hockey as a minority sport. It's getting that out there as well, and doing what we can do as a club to help with Ball Hockey UK and ball hockey in general to make that sport more awareness about the sport.
Yeah, because there's loads of people that have maybe wanted to try it, or maybe thought about doing it but not wanted to pick up a stick sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like what we're doing at Vikings is really opening that up to people that and making them give it a try.
Yeah.
Benny, as coach?
The willingness to train. So much so that we've had 2 training sessions plus the additional night of January now. The lads are giving up between 2 and 3 nights a week to train. Something that, because of the ongoing pandemic, it kind of presented as this gift of let's press the reset button and go again. And it's nice to see that people want to learn and continue want to better themselves. A bit like Joel said, it's a lot of people on personal journeys as well as team journeys as well. It's nice to see all of that.
And Dan, you've been involved with the club now from a fitness point of view for a little while now. What have you seen from when you started working with the team or the club up to this point?
Yeah, like first of all, like obviously massive improvements from a lot of people from sort of that first session. Watching Mike sweat it out in the gym on the punch bags. I think we've just hit the sort of back end of the first lockdown when we started, and then from that fitness wise, like there's a hell of a lot moved forward improvements wise, but also from my perspective, obviously I get the opportunity to work with a lot of different teams, being in a national governing body sport myself. I'm witnessing a lot of different NGBs and how they operate, actually watching similar to sort of kind of what Mike said, but like watching the team structure really coming like so much more proper over the last probably the last few months more than anything. I think Mike's got a huge part of that. You should hold your head up with that one, to be fair, Mike. But even from Benny's perspective, this is his baby, and being able to go, right, let's divvy this up to move it forward has been a real decision as well. So yeah, things have all been positive in the last year.
Yeah, I think from my point of view as well, I think that setting up a committee and expanding the committee was the big thing for me. Everyone here is part of it. So for me, that was a big turning point in the way that the club can continue to move forward. Hopefully, see success. I think we've already achieved quite a lot of success off the playing surface, but up to this point as much as we can. But now we're going to go and try and do it on the. So we look forward to the future. So moving on again. A little while ago, we did put out a little competition out there for the naming of our new mascot, which got a few laughs and and thankfully, like a lot of people got in touch with some good names. I don't think there was a bad idea or a bad name sent through to us. To be honest with you, they're all pretty good. I laughed at a lot of them. I'm going to hand it over to Mike because he's got them there in front of him, and he's also going to announce the lucky winner. So over to you, Mike.
Right. Okay. Well, before I announce the winner, I'm going to mention a few of the suggestions. The one I've got at the top is Vicky the Viking. That was from our very own Daryl Clark. And I suppose I had a vested interest in that since my wife's name is Vicky. And I suppose I had visions of her potentially dressing up. But that's probably for a different podcast. Yeah, so we've and also been being an inclusive sport as well. It sounded quite good to have maybe a female person representing as well, but then it would also give Dan a chance to dress up as a woman, and I don't know, maybe that might be his thing.
Why not?
That's the usual Tuesday night.
We had interesting. We had quite a lot from the Sheffield Knights. Andy Stafford, Steph Millerchip, and they came up with quite a lot of traditional Viking names that had like a significant meaning. Now I haven't got all of the translations in front of me, but there was Erics and Harolds and Torsons and Havlars and Roldsons and lots of very traditional Norse names. Couple from Tracy Lindley, a Svend, a Signy. So a lot went down the sort of very traditional routes, and Fluky as well from Dan O'Leary. But I think there was one that really stood out, and sorry, that's my mother-in-law I'm just waving to. She completely thrown me off my train of thought now. So there was one name that I think, Dan actually wrote down and a lot of us actually had this in our mind, and we couldn't really see past this name. I think it was just the perfect name for our to represent our club, really. So the winner is Dan Powell.
I'll take it.
Look how happy he is.
And our official mascot is going to be, drum roll, Horny the Viking. Horny. And anyone that is watching on screen now on YouTube will see a picture of Horny the Viking. And we'll now post this out on social media. But now the prize was a mug with a ball hockey ball in the mug. So to be honest, Dan, we'll give you the mug, but I think
I'll donate the ball.
Yeah. So there you go. Hang on, I've got to. Excuse me a sec. I've got a cup of tea coming. Thank you. Have you got any donuts? Have you got any donuts with that?
Product placement there.
So yeah,
Fabulous.
I mean, I don't know. Do we apologise that the winner has come from the actual committee of the Vikings or the Vikings?
I can only apologise. I can only apologise.
It was open. It was open to everyone.
It was no. I mean, I'm just joking, obviously, but there was a lot of good names, but literally we could not see past Horny the Viking. We thought it was as a collective unit. It goes no. That's just
it just represents you guys as a club as well.
Very Horny as a team. Horny success.
I mean, I've got to say, one of the considerations was we've already mentioned this before, but Dan may or may not actually dress up as this mascot.
It will be after them.
If he
that league won.
The excuse to strip his top off and show off his guns. I think it just plays to his.
I've started some growth now, mate. So solely based on by the time the end of the league does come, fully fledged.
We look like what sort of growth we're talking about there for a minute, but yeah. So not only with that announcement with Horny the Viking and calling themselves of Horny for success. I don't know if teams are worried about playing us in games or not, but at least they'll be probably worried about getting the same change rooms as yeah. So there we go. Well done to Dan.
Thank you.
Dan.
And yeah, class.
This is freezing.
Okay, so next section, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about my piece of paper's just gone out of the window, but that's fine. I knew I should have put those sides up.
It's a reason to watch this on YouTube.
Did you see it just gust across the screen? I finished that one, to be fair.
Completed it.
Completed it, mate. So, yeah, the Elite Series. The Elite Series is now complete. The Nottingham Panthers won, to your delight, Joel. He's going to be there. It's going. Sorry, the piece of paper it's gone right into the gap in the stairs in my decking, and it's fully entertaining. Will it be there in 100 years' time for someone to dig up? This
will be historic.
It was historic. The podcast notes will be there forever.
Horny the Viking.
Horny the Viking.
Okay, where were we? Elite Series. That's it. Panthers won. Great for us, Panthers fans. Not so much for you, Joel. Question I'll ask. I'm going to go to you first, Mike, since you paid the money to watch every game. I think it was. Was it a success?
Me personally, I loved it. It was great to have some domestic hockey. Yeah, I mean, compared to being there and watching it in the crowd, sure, it was a million miles away from that. But I've been watching NHL. I've been following HC Pustertal because of British presence, but to actually have some domestic hockey and follow the Panthers again, for me, it was great. And I thought it was brilliant. I thought the quality was good. I know there was a few teething problems at the start with, I think getting people actually logged on and stuff, but I thought it was really good. I mean, I've got to be honest, David Sims and, the very sort of biased Steelers commentary, it is what it is, and I didn't expect anything less. And actually, even that I found quite funny because he was quite blatantly trying to wind the Panthers up, so that was fine. So yeah, it was good.
Let's bring up that on that mic with David Sims.
I didn't hear the question, mate. Sorry.
Right, with David Sims, I've not mentioned it yet, but what I was going to ask was, so does that not add a little bit to? Does he not know what he's doing? Like, do you know what I mean? So does that not add to?
Totally.
I don't mind it. I see it online, and I think it's great. I don't think take it too seriously.
No, I don't.
Take it too seriously.
He's a salesman through and through, and I mean, he's trying to sell ticket. He's trying to sell interest in the games, and when it's the Panthers versus Steelers, you can't knock him for trying to promote it. Like I said, a lot of it, I'm sure, is tongue in cheek, and he must get a lot of delight in winding a lot of the Panthers fan base up. My only particular memory is I was so pissed in one of the finals days. I came back in the building and he was stood there, and I went up to him in my Panthers gear, shook his hand, and walked off. And he was just stood there, his hand held out, looking as if to say, "Who the hell was that?" I couldn't even walk straight that day. But he ain't my cup of tea, but it adds something to it for me. I think it makes
He's
it
a Steelers legend.
Yeah, I can get that. I get that. My wife can't stand him, but it is what it is.
I take him with a pinch of salt. I think he does his job of promoting the sport as quite well. He obviously comes across a little annoying times, but I think he does what he's there to do. I don't know. If I was following my team, I don't know if I could stay impartial. I'm hold my hands up. I don't know if I could.
No, and I don't think some of the other commentaries do either. But I think they're more biased than any other of the commentary teams. And I mean, I love Lacko's response when they said, "Well, obviously we're Steelers, we can't wish you luck," and he just Lacko turned around and said, "Don't need it."
Well, exactly. And you know what? The Panthers did the only thing you can do is go out there and win the tournament, and then it's like no one can say anything then. And you know, I was a little bit frustrated because from the off, I'm with you. I thought it was a great idea. I didn't pay for any games. I didn't watch any of the games based on time, okay, and commitment to other things. But I've seen so many people complaining on social media about it. You know, you've not had games competitive games of any sort for over a year, and yet the league and people put these things together. It'd been great to have more teams in it, but logistically it wasn't possible. So you have that 4-team, and then you have the draft so players can come in and play. I think you just take what you're given, and I think everyone who's in charge of building that tournament up and putting it on should be given a huge amount of credit. Obviously, there's arguments of the standard of the play, which again I didn't watch much of the games, but only people that watched it. Yeah, so but too much complaining. You know, did it mean anything to win the tournament? Well, it means anything to win anything. You don't know when. The point I made on social media at the time was you don't know when you're going to win your next trophy. It don't matter, you know, whether there's going to be 4 teams in it, 14 teams in it. You can only play what's put in front of you. And as a fan of a team, you know, you take that win and the tournament, and then people complaining about the commentary standards and stuff like that. You get over yourself. You know what I mean? You've got hockey there. You've got hockey on. You've not watched hockey for ages. Because not everyone can watch European hockey or they sign up to watch NHL. It's your home hockey. It's in your country that you follow when you go and watch the game. So we watch it or don't, but don't complain. Like just crack on doing what you need to do.
And I enjoy this exhibition's Pete's frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, not as my frothing at the mouth. Yeah.
I think he makes a good point though, because especially with the times that we're in, you don't know when you're going to be able to play for your next trophy. So
yeah,
you know, so I'm with you on that one.
From a Steelers point of view, Joel. From a Steelers point of view, I mean, where were you at? You know, I looked
to be honest.
Didn't they?
I've lived in Nottingham for the last 5 years, so I very rarely get to a Steelers game anyway. But I used to be a season ticket holder. I used to love going to games. And I did. I mean, I paid for the first
And it tailed off into nothingness like the challenge in the
I knew you
final.
were about to say, come back when you're ready, Joel. But Benny, you know, if for example, when we get back to playing ball hockey, if there's a tournament put on with 3 or 4 teams in it, for whatever reason, you're going to go out there to win it, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know obviously Panthers finished 4th, but then in the standings, then went on to win it overall. We had a bit of a chat about that.
Game,
It's like that.
They were charging. Got to be honest.
It's
a miracle.
It's a miracle. Right, it's back. There we go.
Back, it's back.
Carry on, Ben. Benny, you carry on.
So we were saying it's a bit like that guy in the WhatsApp group who sits there, just sits there silent.
Waits for something to be organised.
Yeah.
And then turns up and says it's shit.
Has an opinion at the end.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it looks. But you know what?
That's what Vikings did. They had a little rest. They just played it cool. Oh, look, that was 4th. Let's start playing now, and then won it.
Yeah.
Arsehole.
I think. Still, I think.
I think Dan, you're opposing of this theory.
You know what? I'm completely on the fence because I'm about to launch a Liverpool ice hockey team. It's not yet. It's not yet happened. But I don't get the system. I think it's amazing that you guys, you know, got to watch some. You know, I missed football at the beginning. I actually hated football not being on at the weekends, and then, you know, when it was on, it was like, oh my God, it's Reading versus Norwich. Like, you know, It's like, yeah, it's just good to watch. And I didn't moan about it. But I also think the system was a little bit, I don't know if that's how you play every season or what, but it's just a bit like, hang on. All I heard was every week when I was seeing the lads, oh yeah, Nottingham lost again. Oh, they just done this. And then I see a social media post about they've won the bloody cup. I was like, hang on a minute. Yeah, it confused me a tad.
Yeah, so it's still learning the game, I think. But yeah,
is it a game
we'll have to explain the playoff structure to him this season. Promise he's going to come to a few games when we're allowed to go. So we'll teach him. We'll teach him.
Look how Joel's froze.
Joel is, as you can see on YouTube, is froze. Oh, he's back now.
Oh! Is he down?
The computer is down. Leave it. That's fine. It'll be fine.
Definitely worth a watch.
Definitely worth watching now. I know if Mike's froze, or he's just can't get out of that face. Okay.
This is probably the most dramatic podcast we've ever done.
Joel's now disappeared. He's gone.
The fence is blowing down.
We've had paper flying everywhere.
Okay, I feel like we need to get this over and done with pretty soon, otherwise it's the chaos will ensue. So, Mike, you've got a quick update on the NHL sweepstake.
Yeah, I have. I'll do it quickly. Hang on.
I'm going to find. I think I might. While you're doing this, I might rescue the gazebo. Those pegs don't work very well, do they?
Right. Okay, so we were going to award a booby prize for every team that finished bottom of the division. You're not bothered now. You're just watching this gazebo being put up, aren't you?
There we go. There we go. Yeah, back in the room.
Yeah.
Go on then, Mike. Who have we got in the booby positions at the moment?
Right. So the last place has been awarded if they were drawn on points to a goal difference. So Vancouver Canucks, Jamie Parker.
Oh.
Anaheim Ducks. It's not Pete. It is Walt.
I feel your pain. Walt.
Yeah. And Walt's actual team, Buffalo Sabres, which is Ty.
Does he get 2 moves?
No. Well, that one's going to go to Ty. So another prize for Ty's trophy cabinet.
Oh.
And Columbus Blue Jackets, just with a pretty sterling finish from the Red Wings. And that goes to Paul Kellis.
Oh, here we gutted.
Who have we got up the other end then, Mike? Who's doing well?
Do you know what? In the last month, I've been watching more of the domestic stuff than I have NHL.
Well, let me just tell you, it's Washington Capitals. So thank you very much.
Right. I've been watching Arizona because my wife follows them and they've thrown it away. But yeah, I'll probably get back into it again. But we've got GB games coming up in a couple of weeks, haven't we? So
we have indeed. We look forward to those.
Yeah.
how quickly, how are Calgary getting on?
They've never been the same team since Rick Imland left.
you are spot on with that, actually.
Yeah.
That probably happened.
If you want to push me for a pick who's going to win, I'm going to go for Canes.
Oh, Harry Kane's team.
Brilliant.
Harry Kane.
We're going to go. So those mugs are pretty decided now, aren't they? So enjoy the mugs. We'll get them out to you.
I think so. I think there's probably a couple of games left, but I know it was the last Red Wings and whatever game last night, so I think we're nearly there. Yeah.
Brilliant. Over to you, Dan. So now, since we're Rivers, we've got a lot has happened with Generate, both with the Vikings and in general. Do you want to give us a bit of an update on what?
Yeah, just a quick one. I suppose we ran a bit of a to celebrate coming out of the first locking of restrictions. We celebrated with a bit of a day out, running a bit of a fun day for all kids and adults of Leicester to come down and join us, doing a few fitness challenges, which the Vikings came and supported as well, which I was very thankful for. We had quite a few representatives on the day come and help out and volunteer for the day. That was great. Inside the gym's open to the kids now. Kids are going really well. We've had a load of new faces and a load of old ones as well, which have been really fun. From a Vikings point of view, we started with a bit of outdoor training, and that's developed on as well. So it's and we've had a couple of new faces from them, and we're hoping for a few more in the next few weeks to try and get them 4s up to 5s and 6s.
Spot on. Yeah, brilliant. That is literally all about got time for now. Before we go, I just want to give a little shout out to a couple of other ball hockey podcasts that started quite recently. We've got the Dropping Balls podcast, which is based up in Scotland. Listen to it; it's spot on. They've had some good guests on so far. Definitely go out and give that a listen. Sign up to it. That your support will be massively appreciated by them. And there's also Kliqcast, which is a podcast ran by the Northeast Deck Stars, as far as I'm aware. Not actually had a chance to listen to that one yet, but I definitely will get around to doing so. But again, sign up to it, give it a listen, support ball hockey. They're doing it for you guys. So, please give it a listen or watch if they're available on YouTube as well. As for us, it's been great to be back. I think we can all agree. We've just about got through it. Our makeshift gazebo studio has gone through it. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Castbox, Spotify, whatever. Great to be back. We want to be back playing again soon. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye.